Hey friends, how are you? You join me here in the car right now on a Sunday morning. I'm heading over to my mum's for some lunch, and I've got a new PC for her in the back. She had this terrible laptop. It was just awful. Top tip for you: never ever buy a Celeron laptop. Oh, it's the worst piece of rubbish I've ever seen in my life. But anyway, what I thought I'd do is, because I haven't actually got time today to film a vacuum cleaner in use video, I thought I'd just do this little chat video for you, like a little vlog thing. And yeah, and the topic of this video is why, or indeed how, or both, why and how I started collecting vacuum cleaners. So anyway, let's make a move. Let's get this beast fired up, and then we'll make our way over to Mum's. Turn that fan down a bit so you can hear me. I'm not entirely sure this is going to work, so I may not actually be uploading this at all, because I can see that the camera's shaking really badly on the mount thing. It's not a solid mount, it's like a flexible wire thing. So yeah, this may not work at all, so you might see it, you might not, but we'll see. So anyway, let's set off and I'll tell you the start of the story. So we go back to 1981, and at that time I was 3. So I'd always been the kind of kid who enjoyed taking things apart, fiddling with stuff. I always loved machines, using them. I was obsessed with the washing machine, looking at it, watching it go round. Used to love helping people to use the Hoover, and I used to love like trying to take things apart as well. So I'd have a set of like really tiny screwdrivers, and I'd be sticking screwdrivers and things, trying to undo screws, see how they work, all that stuff. And at that time in 81, my dad was a caretaker at a local comprehensive school in Camborne, which is in Cornwall. And at that point in time, we're really pre-1985, the schools themselves were responsible for the cleaning of the schools. They actually had cleaning ladies, and that's not a sexist comment. They were like 100% cleaning ladies. What's this guy doing? So the point of that is that the schools were responsible for buying their own machines to use to clean the school. So, you know, being a public body, and they're not really knowing what they were doing. This camera is really shaking about, it's absolutely mad. They would buy just normal stuff, normal Hoovers or Electrolux machines. They wouldn't buy commercial stuff, because, you know, the commercial stuff cost a lot of money. So that, yeah, they'd buy normal household appliances. And I can remember in the school, I mean, the last time I was there was 1985, and they had Hoover Juniors, Electrolux 502, I remember one of those, Hoover Ranger U4186. But one of the machines they had there was, it's probably in the early 70s, 1972, 73, Hoover Constellation 867A. I can't remember which part of the school that was used in. You know how sometimes your brain plays tricks on you, and you think you remember seeing something, but you didn't actually see it. It's just your brain has just completely made up this story, this thing. And perhaps I do remember seeing the Constellation there, maybe not. But anyway, when the machines used to break down, the school would just shut them out. They wouldn't attempt to have them fixed or anything. That, you know, they didn't think like that. They didn't think, oh right, okay, this machine is broken, we need to have it repaired. It just went in the bin. So my dad rescued this 867A from the bin and thought to himself, oh, Stephen likes playing with these old Hoovers. I'll take it home for him, and then he can, you know, he can just drag it round. Because it had the hose and the tools and everything, he just like drag it around the living room. I mean, that's really odd, isn't it? That's an odd child who does that. But hey, there's lots of us. There's lots of us, and we love it. So why the hell not? So Dad brought this machine home, and you know, I was 3. So you know, when you're 3, it's quite a, what's the word I'm looking for? You're quite impressionable when you're 3. And where my parents lived, they lived next to my grandparents. So my grandparents had a cottage on the end of a road, and my parents had the cottage next to it. And behind those 2 buildings was a garage and a workshop. Now those 2, the garage and the workshop, belonged to my granddad, because prior to Granddad's stroke in, I think, 1978, I think he had his stroke, he was a builder. So he used to, oh my god, taxis. He needed a workshop to do all of his stuff in. So when Dad came home with this Connie, I was pestering him, saying, "Oh, Daddy, can we take it to the workshop? Can we have a look at it? Please, Daddy, to try and fix it." Because, you know, thinking back now, there probably wasn't a great deal wrong with that cleaner. They're very simple machines. They're a piece of flexor switch and a motor. That's it. Those are the 3 things that can go wrong. It kind of bugs me now, because I think, looking back, I could fix that machine in about a minute now. But when you're 3 years old, you can't. And my father was not a technical man at all. He tried, bless him, but no, we couldn't do it, and we couldn't fix this Connie. But I can recall to this day, I can remember, I can picture it in my mind's eye, being in that workshop with my dad, working on this blue and white Hoover. I can picture it on the workbench with the top section off, and I can see the motor there. I can see it clear as day. And I think, to me, that was the point that I became obsessed with vacuum cleaners. Because when you're 3 years old and you go through that, and your father has brought you something that you love, and then wants to work on it with you to try and fix it, there's a real massive emotional link there between that appliance and your father. And I cannot pinpoint any other point in my life where I could say with any degree of certainty that there was any other reason why I would be so obsessed with these cleaners. And I honestly think that's it. I really do. I think it's my dad's fault. And the massive piece of irony is, Dad hated them as I grew up, and I proceeded to fill his home with vacuum cleaners. He hated it. He absolutely hated it. They were everywhere. He shouldn't have moaned too much, because in 1996, possibly, yeah, between 96 and 97, it was a 5-story house. They had a Dyson DC01 on every single floor of that house. A perfectly working DC01 on every single floor. Now, nobody else can say that they had that, but my father was the kind of man who wouldn't appreciate anything like that. He was a strange chap, my old man. But anyway, to conclude, I've now reached Mum's house, so hopefully that wasn't too much of a bouncy ride for you. I'll try the image stabilization stuff. It might work, it might not, but yeah, I'll try and upload this later. If this doesn't work, there's probably not going to be a video today, because I just haven't got time to do it. But anyway, I shall leave you now. I need to go and have lunch. I need to set this PC up. I need to get moaned at by my mother, which happens every time I come to visit. But yeah, until next time, thank you ever so much for watching. Don't forget to do the liking, the subscribing, the commenting. Always love to hear from you. Please tell me your vacuum cleaner stories as to why you guys and girls started collecting the machines, and I'll see you in the next video. So lots of love, take care, bye.